So you guys already explained your challenges and the positives about today through the past, and I understand that if we think about 10, 15 years ago, you had to travel to get the information, and now it's a different era. The battles have taken over a little bit. So if we talk about today, what would you recommend? Like if a dancer or locker wants to really push locking, how does he get the information today? Who would you recommend? Who? I don't want to say who. I want to say, what would you recommend for a locker? Like what today, in today's day? YouTube battles, how does a dancer, how does a locker become a better locker, you know, today?
And you know, everything she said, I agree 100%. It just sounds better when she says it. It seems when I say it, everybody's like, that Richie Rich, he's mean and he's no good. It's like, oh, I didn't say it. You said it and you said it elegantly, but I believe I put my stamp on that for sure. I guess for me, when I look at locking, I say you need 5 things to be a great dancer, but I'll say it, you need 5 things to be a great locker. The first thing is confidence. Without confidence, we can't do anything. I don't care what you dance, what field of education, what work you do. If you don't have the confidence, you cannot do it. Number 2, the technique. When you understand the dance and understand the moves, now you got it going on. Now you have something to use. Next, soul. And then now we can go through all these definitions. I'm just going to give you mine. This is my definition. It's how you feel inside and what you take inside and how you express it. So I look at it, that picture on the wall, that's a blank wall, but a projector puts an image on it. Soul is your ability to take what you feel and project it on the crowd in front of you. Plain and simple. Funk and groove. Now what is that? Everybody, well, it's the way, for me, again, my definition, your body becomes the instrument that plays the music. So when I talk to you about rhythm, it's not just the beat. It's your body is the instrument that plays the music. And lastly, musicality. The first thing in musicality is the beat. If you're not on beat, you're not locking to me. You're not even dancing. The beat is very important. That's the basic. When you take it above that, now is the rhythm. As you become a better dancer, you listen to the rhythms in the music, and you move your body that way. Basic, you stay on the beat, everybody hear the beat, and that's the basic part, but can you take it a little further? And again, like we said at the beginning, music is the key to all this. Where do you get the information? Sure, you can watch YouTube. You can watch somebody dance, but do you know why they move that way? It's different seeing it on a video or seeing it in person. The internet has given us access to everybody. I called Fluky. Fluky actually has Facebook, so I was like, I was talking to Fluky the other day, and he's on Facebook, so I was like, damn, Fluke, you know, you want to meet these people, you want information, find someone who you want to get some knowledge from, send them a message. Everybody's really nice. Don't think, well, they won't talk to me, who am I? No, they want to pass on the knowledge. So you have the internet, you have phones, you have these instant messaging things and all that. I'm not a big technical person, but you have all the information available. Sure, watch a video, but do you want to understand what they're doing? Ask them.
Richie, I don't want to interrupt, but do you feel like there's too much information? Is there
It's not too much information, it's too much information, wrong information. See, there's so much information, but not all is valid. And how do you know what's valid or not? For me, I would go back and ask someone more old school. And the OGs aren't going to be around forever. They're around now. Take advantage of it. Seriously, send them a message on Facebook. Do what you need to do. Ask somebody who knows. And remember, it's his story. Everybody has a different story, but when you hear enough of it from the OGs, it starts to make sense. And when you hear 8 of them say out of the 10 that this is right, then that's probably right. You know, and when you ask me, you could ask me about the 80s, I can tell you. Can I tell you what Don was thinking in 1970, 71? No. If I want to know, I ask him. You want to know something about the 80s? Ask me, I was there. You know, so there is lots of information, but make sure it's valid. Don't take one person's word. If 5 people say it, Okay, if 10 people say it, hey, that must be. If 100 people say it, yo, that must be right. Okay? And then you got a guy who's a teacher, like she said, who's been locking for a year and he's teaching classes. Really now, what do you know? And who was your teacher? Well, I learned from this person in this country. You didn't go to LA at all? Did you learn anything from anybody in LA? Where did the dance start? In LA. And what's sad, you know, the B-Boy Summit, I'll say this about myself, I'm the one who got locking and popping at the B-Boy Summit. When I went to the B-Boy Summit for the first time, there was no locking and popping. And I said, locking and popping started in LA, and you're doing a B-Boy Summit in LA. Can we do some locking and popping? And she agreed, and it went on. And in 2004, they ran out of time and they put us last, and I was just sitting there really upset. Because that was the first year PLOC came. That was the first year PLOC came to California, and we didn't even have a contest. So there is tons of information, but a lot of it out there is useless. So make sure you understand the source it's come from, who's saying this, and ask questions. And don't just accept an answer of a question, question the answer. Why is the sky blue? Well, because it's blue. Thank you. Why? Always ask. And the more information you dig, the more information you'll have. And I don't know everything, even though I've been doing it 38 years, I still don't know everything. I'll direct you in the right place. Don't ask me. Ask Fluky right there, he'll tell you. Ask Don right there. That's where you start. So yes, there's a lot of good information, and there's tons of bad. My sister came to me, she's an anti-college now. She said, I'm doing a report, and there's a book about locking. And then locking started in 1972, when I was like, no it did not. And then it made all these things. I was like, half this book isn't true. It's a book, a written book of the history, and I'm like, who wrote this? I'm gonna go slap that dude. Understand the source, and don't just accept one answer. Gather information. Take what fits, what you hear mostly, and then come to a conclusion from that.
You said everything about the past and the present. Can we talk about the future? Yeah? So where do you see locking in the next 5, 10 years, 20 years? Unity in the scene. Like, how do you feel? I know that's a loaded question, man. That's a loaded one. But how do you feel we can bring the community together? How can we strengthen the community of locking for the future, for the next 20 years to come? Ay, ay, ay.
To me,
oh, yeah, okay.
And then GEMINI.
Yeah, that's fine. I see a resurgence that it will go back to the basics, and all the people that are dancing now in the competitions will learn the foundation, and it will make it better. These people, like TASH said, she's been doing it for 33 years. She's going back and learning the basics. I think if everybody does that, it will enhance the community for sure. I mean, it will resurge, and it will be real, and it will be the locking that evolved from the roots of the tree. So again, just pay attention and learn and listen. And what was the second part of your question?
It was like, how do you bring unity?
I think we have unity. I think our community grows, and like we said, our community is huge around the world. Just watch the people with the egos. See, it's the people with the egos that want to control it, that are closed-minded. You know, find the people that are open-minded. Find the people that want to take on the community. I mean, he came from France to LA, and I'm like, French, whatever. You know, we've been friends, and really good friends, seriously, for 17 years. He's like my brother in a way, even though he calls me uncle all the time. But you see what I mean? We created a community, and you want to see how a community is created? Just follow his example. Honestly, no one... I told him about 6 months ago, I sat online with him, and I was like, you know, now that I think about it, you created a whole community. You know, Locking for Life is a community, and it went from France to LA to here, and it's all over the world, and everybody has these shirts and these things he wears all the time. You know, and he created a community, and people are against that. You know, it's just marketing, he makes money from it. Not true. He did this by love. He loved the dance so much that he opened it up. And that's how you create a community. If you all love it, let's hang out like we're doing right now. here's the community right now. And if everybody tells everybody whose lockers, it just gets bigger and stronger. Plain and simple. Open your mind and learn to be humble. Humble yourself. I've learned to be humble. Actually, he's humbled me before. And it's like, again, he teaches me things. I'm his teacher in 2000, but he's taught me many things also. See what I mean? Always be open for knowledge. Always be open to learn something. And when you stay humble, you get smart, you get good, and you help community. Plain and simple. And again, trust me, you can hear people say all the worst things about me over the years. I am direct. I am straightforward. And some people can't deal with that aspect, but I do tell the truth. What I say now is what you heard me say in 1990. What I say now is what I said in 2000. And I have footage to prove it. Whatever I said back then, my story never changed. My attitude has changed, that's for sure. But again, I'm always a student as well. Yes, I'm a teacher, but yes, I'm always a student as well.
I'll just add a little bit because you said a lot already, but I really feel the same. Yeah, no, I think it's, the first question was how it's going to go. I think it's just going to go up. I think I go back to my statement as far as it's better, it's getting better. The scene is getting better, the level is getting better. If you look at competitions or even personal projects, people doing communities and I don't know, videos, things with locking, you can see that more and more and more. So even some, like TASH said before, a few years back, like some events were taking out locking because there was not too many participants. But now I think it's getting back again. So like the Summer Forever was like more than 100 lockers in Europe. I think it's the first time I've seen that in Europe, 100 locker or 10 or something. So I think it's getting better for competition and exposure. And I think the more people will reconnect to the source and again study the art form, because when we all start, it was not a plan. When we go to the summit, the Bible Summit, it was not to, I'm going to learn from that teacher, then I can go back and teach workshops. Because there's no workshops, there's no international events, there's no things like this. There's only you can dance on theater or TV. So I go there just to learn an art form. Like I will go to Shaolin monks and learn about Shaolin and things. So, and to me, I think also the diversity will be enriching the dance. Will be richer if people start to be aware of the different styles, not stuck in one. And when I always compare it to popping, you can see that anybody who do popping at a high level, they really know more. They know a lot of things. You can see the way the poppers discuss about styles and flavor. Oh, let's do scarecrow, let's do puppet. Oh, let's pop, let's do animation, let's do Google. This, like everybody has that. And you see popping competition, you see the level is very high because of that. And you see everybody's dancing differently, but everybody pop. Everybody understand what popping is. I think like it's getting better for what the people understanding what locking is now. So it's getting better, but at the same time, good and bad at the same time. Tony Gogo used the word for this, he called that the infiltrators. The people who don't really love it, or they sign up in locking, in hip-hop, in house, and they throw themselves in the three category in the same way. They try to see where they can pass, basically. They don't have the really, I mean, they love dancing probably, they love maybe locking, but not as much as people who really love the art form and going to display locking skills over trying to be famous, to be a judge. Sometimes people ask me, how many times I need to win the competition to be a judge? You know? So I'm like, oh, I don't know, because it was not competition before. Now some people, they come in they have a certain agenda, they want to become famous with it, and if they do, sometimes they don't even care. They will say things like, phrases like, I'm not a locker, I'm a dancer. That's me, I can understand it, but at the same time, it's like a b-boy thing. I'm not a b-boy, I'm a dancer. It sounds a bit strange to me. You know, because if you really love, you're proud to be a locker. And when you say I'm a locker, you mean at the same time that you're a dancer, because that's dancing. So, you know, I dance salsa, I dance jazz rock, I do a little bit of popping, I do different styles. I'm a dancer, but I'm proud to say I'm a locker too. And it makes the community stronger. So, more communication, I always say, more communication. And Greg Comlot Jr. always used to say we are one. So about the unity thing, I will not say like Richie is cool. I think it's complicated in certain countries. You know, sometimes people they don't understand that we are all together. You know, we all make one. And if you make an event, maybe they won't come. So if you start to go to their events, then you become tired because you feel like you're doing it, but they don't come to your event. So you start to create like tension because we always go support you don't support us. So the support can be a problem because I don't see it like, no. I don't see it like this. It's getting better. I think that's why I'm saying that when people can meet and talk to each other and understand that we have different flavors. Like you like that, I like this one. I like this one better. But it's we still love the same dance. So when people will communicate more, obviously it will be better. So that's what I see. Yeah. Thank you.
For me, it's very subjective, and I think that we all see quality differently because of who we were taught by, you know. So for one person in this country, this is quality because his teacher has been saying this is how you have to lock, this is quality, this is quality, this is quality locking. It might not be, you know. You're coming from this, you know, other branch, and your teacher is like, this is quality, this is quality, this is, and you're like, so when we look at a battle, you know, we use our knowledge and everything from that perspective of, this is what I learned. After all these years, these are all the connections I've made. And I know this is locking, right? So in the future, I want to see kids that have done their homework and go, okay, the unity is not just showing up at an event, is supporting the event, not just to be on stage and be like, like I have my moment, my 5 minutes of fame. No. It's so much more to build the community. People have no idea what it takes just to do what happened here today. That's intense. And I do that in Las Vegas. And when you have people going, oh, you know, $300 for 5 days of workshop, that's too expensive. And they live in Vegas, you're like, what? You have people flying from all these countries, paying thousands of dollars, and all they want to learn is, you know, in Vegas, and you're looking at the people from your own community, let's say in Montreal, and they're not coming, they're not supporting, but yet when there's a battle, they want a battle, right? But they're in your community. So to me, that's what it is. It's like, learn to support, because those people, we go under all the time, you know, as creating these events. And it's, what I was saying to somebody is like, people have no idea that when you're a leader, you start to understand the Jesus complex. You know, that carrying that cross, and because you're like, I love it so much. And what is passion? Passion, like, okay, I wrote this thing, those who read it, understand it. Passion, the word passion, comes from suffer. The etymology of the word passion comes from suffering. When you're passionate about something, you're suffering because you love it so much it breaks your heart, right? So when you understand that, you go, that's why people write songs. That's why people dance. We're so passionate that, you know, if we don't get to do it, if we fall short, you know, we're suffering. And sometimes we do it because we suffer, like he said. You know, and so when you have people like Lock Unity creating these big events or wherever you go, and you're supporting their event because you're like, this is, you know, I want locking to grow. I want this to get bigger. But you're just like, oh yeah, but I don't like this guy, so I'm not going to go to the event because this guy is going to the event, or because this guy is judging the event, or I'm not going to win because it's ridiculous. Drop the ego. Do the work, you know, which is hard work. Sometimes you have to step back and not shine. You got to step back and go, you know what? I'm going to pay it forward. I'm going to bring it back to my community. I'm going to, you know, teach that kid in a community center for $10 an hour or $15 an hour. I'm going to bring it back home. And what we say, and I think you might know this because he's a therapist, is that I tell people, you need to grow down. meaning drop the ego. You know, you want to raise and be the branch and the nice fruits in the trees. And you're gonna drop to the floor and rot. How do you go back and grow down to the root? Grow back yourself down, meaning drop the ego, go back down. Water your soil. How do you water your soil? You know, you go back and you learn, you sit with the pioneers, and this is the future. Build your community, ask questions. Don't be like, oh my God, I'm not gonna ask him. What is it gonna make me look like? I'm gonna look like a beginner. No, we're all beginners. We're all gonna, you know, come to a point, like I said to Gemini yesterday, I said, after 40, we start dying. Our cells in our body starts dying. I read a book, and I was like, it's true. Your body is like literally going, no, I'm not gonna do that knee drop. So what do? You grow down. But some people miss that opportunity of growing down. They're like, I wanna keep going higher and higher, and they get injured, and they break, and we're like, it was good, nice split, huh? But you realize that there's certain things that you cannot do, and these kids are judging you based on your oh, he doesn't do that anymore. This OG can't teach you. Yeah, he can tell you stories. He can tell you stories that's gonna bring those lights up. Clink, 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 clink. Yeah, there are some OGs that are better at teaching. If you want to learn certain things, and that's true too. But everybody has a different thing to give you, and you gotta take everything, and then you synthesize, and then you go, well, I didn't really like that. It's not that it's not good, it's just it doesn't fit your body. You know, you gotta humble yourself and go, you know, yeah, maybe I made a mistake, maybe I started teaching too fast, maybe, like, you have to tell the truth, tell your truth, you know, and I think that's what it is, just grow down, go back to the root. Why do you love locking? Like Bruce Lee said about the kick. You know, the first time I saw the kick, I was like, oh my God, this is an amazing kick, I want to learn this kick. And then he learned the kick and he did it 1,000 times. I wrote this article too. He did it 1,000 times and he was like, yeah, nothing special about that kick. It's a boring kick, you know. Because that's what we do as lockers, like, it's boring, I want to do more creative stuff, you know, this is boring now. So everybody's like, the basics are boring. And then you start adding that crazy stuff, you're like, what is that? It's cool, but it's not always cool. And then, you know, what happens is you start growing down and like, where did I lose the passion? I want to go back to the beginning when I first saw locking or that first kick and go, wow. But you don't have that feeling anymore. You're dead inside, you're like, oh. Because your ego was like trying to rise too fast, you know? You didn't grow down, you didn't take that opportunity to stop and go back and go, okay, let me go back to the drawing board, right? And it's good to do that, like to humble ourselves and to learn again, and to be a student again. And, you know, we're teachers, but for me, locking is not my grail, but I understand the grail now. I'm like, it's not about locking. It is, locking is everything. There's something else. It's about something that Greg, like what he said about confidence. When we're locking, we want to do something. And if you don't involve your community and you don't hold together and say, we're going to do this together, one person, you're carrying that cross. You're going to stop. That's why the OGs are so bitter sometimes. Because nobody was reaching out for their information. Everybody's going to all these superstar lockers, YouTube, you know, winners. And so they're getting bitter and bitter and bitter. And sometimes I have to pull myself back and go, you know, I understand, this is pain. This is like, it comes from a deep place, you know, and we need to fix it. But and that was my wake-up call. When I said, I'm starting to be bitter. When I started to be bitter is when I said, okay, I need to stop. I'm going to become like all these OGs, and there's something, I need to grow back down, you know? And that's what it is. That's what you have to do as dancers, is when you hit that wall, you got to grow down. You know, instead of like trying to keep going high and then breaking your leg, breaking your body, because you're trying to do things that your body can't do anymore. You know, just because you want to prove yourself. That's the key. Build your unity, build your home so that when you come back home, you have a strong core, a family. Some people that'll be like, don't worry, I got your back. I'm going to go there for you, you know? And that's important. And then you come back, they share the knowledge. and you grow and you grow and you grow. So I talk a lot, but that's what you have to do to build your community. Don't say, oh, it's too expensive, it's $5, it's $10. Yeah, in Montreal you have way too many events happening in the same week. Like, sometimes I'm like, okay, well, that's hard for the dancers, you know? So that's why your community is so important. It's bigger than locking. You gotta figure out all together how to make it work. As Montreal, why are you having all your events in the same week? It happens all over the world, you know? But it's you have to communicate with each other, you know? And support people like Mark, that's like literally like giving his blood, and Lori and Jeff and all of these people. And when there's people from other countries who are like, oh, we don't want to go there because lock unity, you know, like it's not right, you know, because at the end of the day, we all love dancing, you know, and so a t-shirt or, you know, some people used to say about the locking camp, it's a sect. Like, I was just like, wow, you know, but I can understand from the outside why people think like that, you know, you're like, okay, yeah, it's like people that like each other, we congregate, we don't really like those people. But in the end, when I meet the people that I don't like or that I didn't like, it humbled me. I was like, dang, we have a lot more in common than I thought. And I like to have that conversation. Like I say, like last week I sat with a Jehovah's Witnesses, a guy. My parents were Jehovah's. I sat with a Jehovah's Witness yesterday. I read Buddhism, and then I practice meditation from India. And I understood so many things, even though I'm not a religious type of Jesus Christ. But I made some connection, and I was like, I had the hard conversation with somebody that I don't agree with, but a good conversation. In the end, I was like, I get it. I understand your passion. Not my passion, but I understand we have a different type of approach to locking, or, you know, you like this style, I like this style. It's all good, you know. But the community, without a community, you can't do anything. That's for sure. So thank you, Mark. Thank you, Lock Unity, for everything. And thank you for the support for me, because, you know, without Lock Unity, I probably wouldn't be here, but, you know, when I was in Vegas and those Montreal dancers would come to the camp, I was like, thank God, Canada's in the house. It's support for me, you know, and I think you feel the same, you know, when you got your peoples coming, because there's a lot of, weird energy sometimes, so your community is so important. They're the ones who are going to, you know, when you're crying, they're going to be like, oh, it's okay, Tash, you know, we know, don't worry, we know.
Thank you so much.